If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is October the 12th, 2023, and today the topic is Holy Days and Holidays. Happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday. I hope that you all had a wonderful Wednesday. Mine was just fun. Mine was rather long. Me and a little kid was out and about all day yesterday. From the meeting to hanging out with him, getting him lunch, taking him to the park, and then ultimately coming back to the church for the child care shift that I had. Yeah, that was my Wednesday in a nutshell. This morning, y'all, I guess I woke up to the sound of my alarm. And to be honest, my mind was just engulfed in some upcoming events and activities and things of that nature, which I would say that is partially the inspiration for today's conversation as well. So one of my homegirls, speaking of Miss Summer Kai, she wants to host an event real soon, and she asked me to be part of it, things of that nature. And so and it's like I don't know if it's a Halloween costume type of event. Y'all might see more stuff about it, but basically she asked me to be a part of that. And then the church is having a Super Sweet Sunday event that same weekend. And so I was trying to figure out, like, how can I do both of these things? And X, Y, and Z, obviously promote as well as, assist my friend, and then as well as support the church, right? And everybody knows around this time of year, all the holidays start to kick off, including that holiday that's in October, And I mean, well, yes, this is partially the inspiration for today's conversation, because I was thinking about that, trying to figure out what ideas I could do and different things like that. And then obviously trying to figure out, like, well, how can this, like, whatever I do for her event, how can that correlate with whatever I do for the church, and what that's going to mean and everything like that. So yes, I can acknowledge that, yes, I've heard all the different things about, this holiday represents this and that holiday represents that, and I haven't done a deep dive or anything like that into, like, what people say, but I'm just saying I've heard people say X, Y, and Z. And then, yes, you'll see all the videos of people that have commentary about things, people that may have been dabbling into the other side, occult and everything like that. And hey, I'm not saying their testimonies aren't valid or anything like that. By all means, be led, and X, Y, and Z, you might need to know about some of the things that they're sharing. So hey, by all means, check those things out if you so feel led to do. You may be wondering where I stand, right? Well, I mean, one, I'm not necessarily even fully clear where I stand to a certain extent, because, the way I was raised, every day, including holidays, were used and could be used for the glory and honor of the Lord. My mom would host events for different holidays and things of that nature. And so, y'all already know that she's an evangelist. She has a nonprofit organization and everything like that. And so, that's what I was raised with, so, I never necessarily looked at this or that or a day in particular as evil or whatever the case may be. So at least that's how I was raised. Now, where am I today? I mean, well, again, I've done different things and events for my with my business and things of that nature. I've done shows and whatnot in the past. To me, they're just entertainment or a day or anything like that. It's not me going out of my way to worship anything outside of Christ and everything like that. And so now I will say, once I became a mom, not to say my mind shifted or anything, but once I started to notice, for example, my son taking in so much content centered around, I guess, Halloween or whatever the case may be, then at that point I started to, at least introduce him to the content that I wanted him to be participating in and understanding and whatnot. So, not just to say to even things out, but so he can be aware at the end of the day. Like if I was to let him just continue to take in random content and not know what those people are feeding into him, then, again, it's that flesh and spirit battle or whatever the case may be. But again, ultimately, I guess I was led to chat about this morning. I didn't feel led to necessarily go so deep into everything or whatever the case may be, but I did, write down the verses that stood out to me, and I got, at least a prompt for you guys to go and check out these things on your own. And this is going to be ultimately the juice, because your girl recording a little bit later than usual, and I need to get ready to go. So here we go. Holy days and holidays. These are verses that the Bible, or that I came across that the Bible has to say about this subject. So Colossians 2:16 and 17. It says, "Therefore let no one pass judgment on you in questions of food and drink, or with regard to a festival or a new moon or a Sabbath. These are a shadow of the things to come, but the substance belongs to Christ." I mean, listen, that says what it says. I ain't got to sit here and go too deep about it. Y'all can, I guess, again, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Y'all can ask the Lord what that means if you don't understand or whatever the case may be. But what I've received from that this morning is, at the end of the day, whatever I decide to do, if I give glory and honor to the Lord, then I shouldn't let no one pass judgment on me or that thing. At the end of the day, I know my friends over there at Lace Ministries, they have a new t-shirt brand and whatnot, and they're kind of like an alternative group anyway, because they are a ministry that is dedicated to strip clubs and things of that nature. So they go to the strip clubs and they go and obviously share the love of Christ and whatnot with those individuals. And so with that being said, basically they came out with some t-shirts, and I'm thinking about getting one. One of them says, "I will praise him in every season," and it has the clear, I guess, Halloween colors, or, they have the little design or whatever on there. They got some other shirts and whatnot as well. But will you praise God in every season? I guess that's the question today, or are you going to allow, someone else to say, "Oh, you shouldn't do X, Y, and Z." And then my whole thing is this, and this is what came into my heart and mind this morning as I was reflecting on all this. If we as believers don't do something right during this season, then what options do people got other than to just go and do whatever is being done on the quote unquote secular world side? Like, there's nothing. I mean, hey, if you feel convicted and whatever, if you've been dabbling into the occult, right, and so it convicts you in your heart and mind to do anything, then by all means, again, let the Lord lead you. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about in general the ongoing, I guess you would say, quote unquote, judgment or whatever the case may be that happens this time of year. Like, at the end of the day, can you use every day to give glory and honor to the Lord? Including October 31st, including January 1st, December 25th. Like, can you use those days and give glory and honor to the Lord or not? If you can't do that, then by all means, don't, But if you can, then, I don't see an issue with doing that. I mean, maybe, again, it's because of the way I was raised, and maybe it's because of these verses right here. I don't know. But again, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Matter of fact, let's go to Romans 14:5. It says, "One person esteems one day better than another, while another esteems all days alike. Each one should be fully convinced in his own mind." I mean, again, seek the Lord about whatever you feel like He's sharing with you in that. But to me, what I'm receiving is, again, some people think holy days and Sabbath days and all this type of stuff, and by all means, there's a plethora of holidays and all this type of stuff that's on the calendar. Do we celebrate them all? No, like I barely even know them all, to be honest, and even the ones that are referenced in the Bible. Let's be clear, Christians, like we really ain't. I mean, have we done Passover or any of that stuff outside of taking the? It's so funny how things come together, Lord. Okay, I was going to say aside from taking communion, but it was interesting because my son would usually during the all staff meetings that we have at the church, we usually take communion, and so there was a couple of them that was left on the tables, and my son saw it, and he's like, "What's this?" And I'm trying to explain to him what it is, but obviously it's his first, Of course, he just wants to eat it because he just sees something to eat and something to drink, and I'm like, "This is something special. This is, not just regular. It represents something, X, Y, and Z, things of that nature, right?" I mean, yeah, that's something that we observed, but there's no particular day that we observe it. You know, some I heard some y'all, well, you guys heard that our friend Miss Crystal Fry, when she was visiting or when we were doing the communion girls, she mentioned that her church does it every Sunday. So I'm just sharing with you guys. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess, yeah, like I said before, the question is, can you praise God every day? Can you give glory and honor to the Lord in every day? Can you be that and not just be like, oh, hallelujah night or whatever? And you can do that if that's the way you feel led to do. But my whole thing is, there's a lot of things going on, especially at this time of year. Our friend Allie shared with us a lot of the things that takes place. Apparently there's, people that get, take kids around this time of year. People that I guess sacrifice animals this time of year, and then apparently there, people that you hear about this stuff about putting things in the candy and whatnot, right? So if you, right, are a God-fearing person and you can provide something to children, for example, in your neighborhood or in your home or whatever the case may be, that can shed light on, the light of Christ and things of that nature at that particular time to give people another option aside from the evil, why not? You guys, again, be led. I'm just saying what the Lord gives me to say this morning. I ain't got too much time, like I said, to dwell on this. So let me keep going. Romans 14:1. It says, "As for the one who is weak in faith, welcome him, but do not quarrel over opinions." So at the end of the day, I mean, you guys can go deeper about all of this and again, be led by your own, be led by God in regards to your own convictions and what you and your household is going to do. But, this is the time. It's not time to be shedding people out, right? This is not the time just to be just like I was talking about the other day. We are more so allies, or we should be believers. I'm talking to believers right now. We should be allies versus adversaries. At the end of the day, if you and your brother or whatever the case may be is struggling with this or whatever the case may be, then hey, maybe it's best for y'all not to do whatever it is. But if you guys could just come and just have conversations and agree to disagree or whatever the case may be, then let that happen. At the end of the day, this is ultimately the juice this morning. I mean, you guys can go deeper about all of this. I mean, there are, yes, quote unquote holy days, and there are a plethora of holidays. And again, you see all the judgment all over social media throughout this time of year. You shouldn't do that and you shouldn't do this. But like I said, the only thing I'm offering, maybe that might be a little bit different to what you already may see on social media about this, is that at the end of the day, all right, well, what just came to my heart and mind was about to come out of my lips is what you don't do, the world is so glad to do. And so, I mean, that's honestly the inspiration of GSL. That's the inspiration of like majority of everything I do. Like at the end of the day, there's gaps that can be filled by believers, and you can give that alternative to people. Like, I mean, again, even with my church, they're doing Super Sweet Sunday. Okay, they may not be doing the quote unquote trunk or treat on that actual day or something like that, but they are giving an alternative to the people that go to that church. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. And according to the word, you guys can go deeper about all of this. It doesn't seem to be a bad thing. Actually, there's a couple of articles that I came across at gotquestions.org. I didn't write down any of the articles. I just want y'all to go there and plug in holidays and read whatever you feel led to read. There's plenty of things there. I think the first one I started with was should Christians celebrate holidays? So, but yep, that's the juice, y'all. That's the juice. I got to get ready to go. So y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.